Hey guys, welcome to Simpler Futures in our nightly video. What we're going to be looking at, we're going to look at the YM and also take a look at the grain markets tonight. And because we're seeing some pretty good movement in here. First of all, let's maybe move from this 144 tick to a daily chart. And you can see in here that we put in the high 18,565 and we're testing the 21 period EMA. Now normally I would think, okay, this may be a retest, this may be a small correction after a really strong run up in the month of July, and then we get a pullback in here to the 21 period EMA and maybe bounce this to run it higher. Well, on a daily chart, the concern for me is that we've got this MACD crossover, and I don't like to trade against the MACD. So what does that tell me? Right now, if I go long, my preference would be to do it all on a scalp basis. But yet, until we get below the 100 period EMA, I'm still bullish. So how do I trade that? Well, I would trade in the direction of the trend of my long-term chart, and I let the moving averages and the MACD tell me what that is. And right now the MACD is giving me the first signal that that's crossed and that we may be in for a bigger correction, which could be down to the 100 period EMA at 17,769. If you look at the ES in the same scenario, we've got that, but I'm also getting some bearish divergence up here, as you can see off of my indicators, that this bearish divergence is beginning to signal in here that same type play. So first of all, I'll be looking at 2110 and then at 2082, those two levels. And then now that I know the direction that it appears to be going on the daily, then what I do then, I'll go back in and say a 5-minute chart and start looking for opportunities here. You see, I've got a bearish divergence that kicked in right here at 3 o'clock Central Time, and now looking for some pullback in the test of the 100 period EMA there. And also looking at some volume areas here that may give us a little bit of understanding of market direction. If we take out this low at 2150, then we may accelerate this move to the downside a little bit. And then that's my 5-minute chart, and then I'll go back into say a 144 tick chart and look at that, and let's take a look at it on the YM and start looking to see if I got areas that look like we're getting a nice solid run and could get a market reversal and be able to make some money off of it. Now, as we look at this, you can see from noon Central Time, we saw a fairly decent rally here in the YM to where we are now. Our lows down in here at 17,173. And what do? We rally this market up to around 18,250. Really strong move. So that's what I'm watching, guys, to see what type of short-term scenario. My daily charts are pointing to the downside, so I'm looking for opportunities to be a seller right now, which would be more just on a scalp basis. On the soybean market, on the November soybeans, today's move in here, let me show you on the daily chart where we are, and this chart is not looking good. We put in a new low in here today. It's been hard to catch up with it and get into a position in here that's been able to stay with it for a short trade. I got out my last trade off of the soybeans. I was short and got out about 10.50, and you can see it's dropped another $1 from there. And that's after I took out $1 of the market because I had been short around 11.65. Where do I think it's going? Again, same scenario that I look at technically. Anything below the 100 period EMA, I start looking at bearishness and look to sell rallies in the market. And this was a good opportunity when it tested $10 Friday, and we should have just been all over that. But then we were heading into a weekend, and that was of concern for me with us closing at 10:01. And then with a close at 10:01, we opened this market at 992 3/4 and made a little rally and just hadn't looked back yet. So I'm looking for more weakness off of the November soybeans as we go forward. Guys, make sure you come back to Simpler Futures and watch the videos to see what we've got up our sleeve next. We've got a good market going here, several different markets. Crude, big sell-off in here. Take a look at the November crude, and you can see this sell-off here on a daily chart, what we've been doing. It's just really been really weak. So enjoy your cheap gas prices, but also don't forget there is a bottom in here somewhere. Here's the RBOB, which is the gas regional blend. Take a look at it. It's at 130, and just a couple of, well, back in late June we're at 161. So when you look at this, where are we going from here? Again, below the 100 period EMA, and we have been since early part of July. Pretty good weakness, testing these lower extremes down here on my what I call a power band, and we'll look to see what happens. Guys, stay close in touch with Simpler Futures, and we will talk to you in the next video, and may have some opportunities in here that could be some good seasonal plays coming up. Good trading. Use your stops. Trade smart. Don't justify a position. See you in the next video.